everyone, welcome to another episode of Watercolor Instructions. So I'm going to do a seascape, majority of the clouds and a little bit of sea. So basically this painting is about capturing the cloud and the horizon. So the way all I'm looking at is maybe that much of the sea. I will add a little bit of banks or the shore. We'll see how it goes, but the painting is obviously about the, so I'm the cloud shape, I'm trying to go that way. So I got a picture which is so something on that nature. So I don't know whether you can see those lines because I don't want it to there's no image itself. So in terms of materials, check the description, so you'll have all the brush and other things I am using. Also, when you're doing a cloud, it's good to have two bowls of water. One is for cleaning and the other one is fresh water in case you want to have a cleaner brush or introduce clean water to the paper. I might use this is Sterling Edwards small blending brush, but most of the paintings I'm going to just use one of the mop brushes, either a size 10 or a size 8. So let's continue. So my palette, when you look at any of my videos, always my palette is a bit dirty, but when you mix all the colors you get good gray. So I'm going to just do is introduce water to it. If needed, I'm going to introduce see how it goes. So I'm just basically cleaning the palette. All the makes wonderful grays. So it has the blues, the purples, the reds, all the cool and dark color makes it fantastic. So I'm going to just check the color. It's dark, so that will be the cloud color. I'm going to use a little bit of ultramarine and cerulean blue. Generally tend to use cerulean blue for the sky, ultramarine for buildings and other things, a little more darker, and cobalt blue for the sky and cerulean blue for the water. So I'm picking up a lot more blues, so I'm going to see how it goes. So that's a lot darker, and I'm picking up grays. So I want to add a little more gray. Okay, so that's my first layer. I wouldn't touch it, but what I'm going to do is maybe have a roll of tissue to clean the brush, and I'm going to take a few dark edges and make it a little soft. Not everywhere, just few places. That's about it. Okay. So I got a clean brush. I'm just, when you look at it, there's a lot more pigment in it. Those are the areas where I want to introduce a little more color so that it gets a little more gray. And I've used less pigment so you can see there's a lot more darker colors in there. So let it mix, let it do its thing. And now I'm going to come in this section. So I'm going to add a little more water and continue introducing the paint, the shadows of the cloud. So as I go, I'm going to introduce a little more shadow. I'm going to pay a little more attention as I'm coming close to. So I'm going to switch back to a little bit of blue. Less pigment, so I'm taking more water here. Let it blend. And just a little more. Okay. Now continuing adding shadows for the second round. So when you look at it, even though the perspective is you're adding more and smaller clouds as it goes forward. So the second, a little more gray. Let's continue. Smaller clouds. I'll introduce a little more blue. Okay. That's about, I'm gonna come in. I don't want it to blend, so I'll just let that sit for a second. I'm gonna do my C. So there's a lot more light over here, so the sun, so I'm trying to make sure that there's a lot more glitter in the water. So the best way for the glitter, I'm just using a dry brush, a new clean dry brush with almost very little water. So it's too dry. So I'm slowly going to build the volume of water. Making sure that dry brush is very important. And a few more areas. That's about what I want to do. And I'm going to add a little bit of yellow ochre. I will come back and then I'll finish off that area, but at this stage that's all I want to do. Add a little few more darks. It's got a hint of blue, but it's reflecting a dark cloud, so I'm just gonna let it. Okay, at this stage I'm gonna probably dry a little bit. I think it's dry. I just don't want to take a chance. I'm gonna just quickly dry. Okay, so at this stage I'm going to come finish the cloud a little bit, so that a little more blue. Keeping that horizon, giving that a little bit of gap. Okay, and I'm going to introduce a little more gray in certain areas. Adding a little more shadow. Slowly building some more volume. At this stage, I'm going to add a little more purple. And coming back and taking out some of those sharp edges. Okay, so I'm fine with it. Continuing, add a little more clouds. And softening the back edges. Maybe a little more. Dark clouds here. Same thing, making sure I clean the soft edges and then leave some grays. Okay, so there's a bead of water. I'm not happy. I'm going to just soak up a little more so that I don't want it to start raining. And especially when you're doing a painting like this, you want to make sure it's at a good incline. So this one is pretty, I would say about 45%, 45 degrees. So I'm going to come in, lots of burnt sienna and raw umber, a little bit of gray, okay, so I'm gonna be a little more brave and that's it. And I will do a couple of dry brush strokes. So to add a little more texture. There's some stuff going on, so it doesn't have to be, but it just gives an offset to completely barren one. But I will add a little more dark on this side. So set it in blue, can be a little more dark. Okay. There you have it. It's a very quick painting, but just because they are easy doesn't mean they don't have an impact. One of my favorite things to do. And which I see there's okay, that one I missed adding a little more software edges to that. I'm going to just do a little hard edge and soften it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. It's time to dry it and reveal the painting. Okay, so let me reveal the painting. It's always a fun bit to reveal a painting. Just the frame makes the painting stand out. Let me just check if it's in the frame. Yes, it is. There you have it. A simple clouds with a little bit of water. Having a dry brush stroke, not doing sometimes is very important. And then leaving a little bit of horizon, leaving the whites for the cloud. And as you notice, I've broken down some sharp edges, some soft edges. So a mix of soft and hard edges and soft edges, and a little bit of dark to balance out the sky and other things. Till next time, keep watercoloring, and if you haven't subscribed, help me out, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Keep watercoloring. Bye.